So the next topic that I want to talk about is what happens to the ground and what lies beneath the ground when we have a lot of water collection and deposit and just some water flowing from around us, and when it rains and when water passes through, what happens to the ground. And if you notice right here, you see that we have some very grassy areas, and then we have some areas where there is dirt exposed or soil exposed. And you even look closer, you're gonna see stones and rocks exposed. And that's what happens when you have water that runs through places, is you have a lot of, well, what happened was either these rocks laid beneath what used to be a grassy area, and then because of the runoff and because of the rain and in this watershed that we have right here, the rocks were either carried here or what was above it was weathered or carried to a different area of our watershed. And you'll see that lots of times, that sometimes, and if you look over here too, we have another very, you have a grassy area, and then you have some of the area that was in fact weathered to a point where the rocks were exposed, or maybe this part of our watershed was not in fact here and was brought to this location from somewhere up in the distance by the water that carried through our watershed. So you'll see that lots of times, that because of the amount of water, and you can see even out into the road, you can see how the water has carried some of the dirt and the soil and the rocks from over in this area. You've seen that it has carried those rocks and the soil into where I'm standing, going on my walk through Manita this afternoon. And it's cool to think about that. Where did these rocks actually come from? Did they come from beneath the earth and they were weathered away, or have they traveled here from some distance or distant place? And I hope that you are seeing some of what Virginia has to offer. And you know, other states, they have the same types of weathering and actions happening because of the movement of our water through our watersheds on their journey into our lakes and rivers and creeks and water deposit areas underneath our ground, our waterways underground that get recycled. So in just a few minutes here, I'm going to actually show you a creek where some of that water from up on the hill where I lived, I showed you a few minutes ago the hill that I lived on, but there I live on, and some of that water travels down. As you can see, it's up on a hill, so the water that gets collected up there isn't necessarily going to stay up there. It's going to come down as runoff into this area down here, and who knows what it might bring with it.